Everybody, it's Susan with Susie Simply Handmade. Tonight we are going to be making a pumpkin using book pages, okay? Now these are books that I pick up at the local quarter store. They give them away for free, and if people don't take them, they end up in the garbage. So what I did was I just tore all of the pages out of this book. Now this book had like 300 and some pages, so this is going to be a large pumpkin, okay? And what I did was, look at this big stack. This took a lot of time and a lot of work. However, I did this while I was sitting in my recliner watching TV. So I just tore the pages out. I folded them in half. I cut out my own template to use that was shaped like a pumpkin. And I just traced it onto one of the pages. And then I started cutting, and I just kept tracing on these half-cut pages, and I cut them out, okay? So with this, I would just lay it on here, and, before it was glued down, and then I would just trace around it, cut that off, and then once you get that, then you just take this folded part, and you just glue it right here, just along this back edge. That's it. They're only glued by the back edges, okay? So that when you set it up and you bring it around together, and I'm going to have to glue these last, the starting point and the ending point, because see, this is the inside of the book. It would come around like this. We will glue that all together. Then I have to round it out here in the center. And because I used so many pages and made such a large pumpkin, I'm going to have quite a large opening in the center, okay? So we're going to stuff that full of some paper and things, and we're going to put a stem in here. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to make a stem out of, and then we are going to decorate this up. So I hope you guys will give this a try. You can also leave them right in the book if you want to. You just open it up, and you can just draw your shape right around the book pages and just cut them out like that, and then just fold the book backwards where all of the pages are sticking out, and it would form the pumpkin. You can do that if you want to. I opted to try mine like this. Again, like I say, I had one of these that I made out of a whole book a couple years ago, and everybody just loved it. So there are so many things that you can make with old books or book pages. And this is not a really old book. You don't want to use one that's too fragile, okay? Because the pages sometimes are just too... If it's that old, you may want to just put it up and hang on to it and not try to craft with it because it'll be too fragile. Got just some tissue paper here that came in the package that I received. So I'm going to kind of tuck that down in here just to give this some stability. Okay, and that's really going to open up that hole. Like I say, it's large. So we're going to do that. Let me see if I have something else. That's not quite enough. Got a Walmart bag. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Use whatever you have. Now, if you do the book with less pages and fold it, it normally won't leave this large of an opening. But because I used such a large book and the way that I put mine together, it really did leave a huge opening here in the center that I now have to fill up, okay? Perfect. Okay, so let's make a stem. I bought this cheap grapevine wreath at the dollar store, okay? I think it came from Dollar General for a couple dollars. So I'm going to cut a piece out of this, and we're going to have a big twisted handle that's going to go right here, okay? So because I needed a big one, not a handle, but a stem, you know what I mean. I needed a large one because this pumpkin is so large. So I didn't want to use just like a stick, or I couldn't use one of the little tiny things from Dollar Tree. It just wouldn't work. So I needed something substantial, so this is what I opted for. So I'm going to take, there is wire holding this. I'm going to cut some of that wire loose. And I'm just going to cut a section out of this. And that's what's great about these. You don't have to use it as a wreath. For a couple bucks, you can pick it up and repurpose it into whatever you want to. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to just twist this a little bit without breaking it because it is very fragile. You see it is all over the place here. It is really making a big mess. But that's okay. I might even put a little bit of hot glue down in here and twist it. That way it'll kind of hold it a little bit better. Let's see if that'll work. You know, thinking, oh, that's not going to work because it's not exactly what it should be or whatever. You don't have to look at things like that. Okay, so we're going to put this in here. Nobody else is going to have a pumpkin like mine unless you guys go out and buy the same things that I used and make you one. Okay, so there's what we have so far. It's looking pretty good. All right, so we're going to take some of the Spanish moss. We're going to finish filling in this void and kind of cover the top of this, okay? So that is another thing that we're going to do. Squirt some glue down in here so I can get this moss started, okay? Because I'm going to just start tucking it down in there, and then we're going to let it overhang over the top. It's going to be really, really cute, rustic, very fall-like. Okay, so we're going to tuck some down in. I probably pulled too much. I thought I was going to need that much, but I'm not. So I'm going to tuck it down in there. And then I'm going to leave some hang out as well. And cut off that hard piece right there. Sometimes this stuff's a little bit tough. It's just contrary. But just work with it there. Spread it out however you like yours. Alright, so that's looking pretty cute. Give this a haircut just a little bit. Okay, now I also brought, this is some part of a fall bush or something that came from Joann's last year. I also have these fall flowers from these fall bushes, it's called, from Joann's as well. So we're going to put some of these on here. We're just going to decorate a little bit. Put some little tendrils like this, some little pieces. And you can make really cute little tendrils. I'm going to show you the little curly cues. Now, you can do that just with your moss. But I'm also going to show you guys how to do that with some jute rope. Okay? You know, yes, it's a pumpkin, but hey. It could be out in the woods, in the middle of a pasture, surrounded by all of these beautiful things growing up around it. Who says that it just has to just be a plain old pumpkin with a stem? That's boring, right? So we are going to make it one of a kind and individual. Tucking that right down in there, and I really like the look of that. Like, look how pretty that is. Let's do another flower. And some of those little other little pieces in. I don't want to cover the stem or anything, but you know, we want to see the stem there. Okay, look how beautiful that's looking. All right, now we have these. We'll tuck these in around here. Let's see, I might need to cut the ends of those off to make them. It's just amazing what you can do just with some faux florals and, you know, just book pages and faux florals, guys, and some hot glue, pretty much. I mean, it's amazing what we're going to come up with. And then, let's see. Oh, I was going to put a little bow. I have some of this really pretty lace cotton ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Just got to make your loops a little smaller and leave room for your tails. And I've seen people wrap it around their hands, and I need to learn how to do that because my method doesn't always work out. Okay. So I'm just going to make a little bow like that. It's going to have several loops on each side. And it would be better, you know, if you used wired ribbon, but I don't have any in the colors that I want to use tonight. So I am just using this, and I'm going to cut a little piece of this wire off of this wreath. Okay, just a piece of that, and I'm going to tie that around here and tighten that to keep it all together. That wire is pretty thin, so it's pretty, you know, it's flexible and easy to work with. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll trim it off, and then we'll hot glue this right on our pumpkin. Okay. Oh, and I brought some fall leaves too. I don't know if we're going to need them, but I brought a little bit of everything with me just to see what we were going to need. Okay. Okay, so let me turn this around here just a second so I can see what I'm doing, because I'm going to tuck this in here, and then I'm going to put, and you know, you can do the traditional colors if you want with the fall leaves and that kind of thing, or you can do it more earth warm tones like I'm doing. This would be gorgeous on your dining room table or wherever you want to put it. Okay, so look how pretty that's looking already. And again, like I say, I'll want to adjust these and kind of open them and just arrange it like that. But I also brought this garland. It came from Joann's as well. So I brought this because I thought, well, I may want to tuck in a few leaves. I could do maybe something like that, like, you know, that's a little bit darker. Or let me see what else is here. See a little bit of everything. So there's some of these little flowers, like just so many options of things that you could add, you know, to add a little bright color if you want to, whatever you want to do to your pumpkin, to add a little color and a little happiness or whatever, or you can leave it completely, you know, neutral. A little glue on this one. I'm going to tuck it over here. We'll have a little color on this side. Okay, now let me see. These leaves are too big, and that's something else. If you have, it would be better if you could find like little miniature leaves or something, because a lot of times the leaves that you can get at the Dollar Tree or anywhere, they're kind of large. So what I do is I just cut them down. I just take my scissors and I just cut the same shape. You know, these are a little harder because they're the, you know, they really have a lot of detail, that kind of stuff. But you know what? You can make them look okay if you just take your time and cut them and trim them down. You can. Okay, I'm going to put this right here in the center, I think. Cut this off a little bit. All right, here's a good example I'm going to show you guys. See how large this flower is? I want to put that in the center of my bow, but it's a little bit too large. So I'm going to literally pull the back off the flower. Okay, if I can. I'm going to take it apart. There's the back piece. I'm going to take this center out. I'm going to get rid of this back piece that's so large. Okay, I'm going to keep this little front piece. Pop this back in there. Put the back on it. And then that is a little bit smaller, and I can even cut these down to make it fit how I want it to. Okay, so don't think, like I say again, that you have to, you know, have a certain size or whatever. Make it work for your project. We don't stress. We just do it. Have fun. Too many people go through life saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. You know, you don't try, then you miss out. Like, just try. I promise you're not going to mess it up. Okay, here we go. Ah, how gorgeous. What do you guys think? I have these little trays from the Dollar Tree. I think I'm just going to sit mine on this for now, just to hold it. And, I mean, I could paint that up if I wanted to and make it match, but look how pretty that is, and look how simple. Okay, and like I say, most of my greenery and everything that I used came from Joann's, except for the bow, the ribbon for the bow, and the moss. I got the moss from the Dollar Tree, but I think this turned out absolutely beautiful. I am super happy with this. I love it. I hope that you guys will give it a try, and you can do this on a much smaller scale. This was about 325 pages if you want to do this. You know, with about 60 pages, something like that, you could definitely make just a small one, whatever you want to do. But I think this would be absolutely beautiful for a centerpiece for a, you know, a Thanksgiving dinner or fall get together or whatever. So, and it was super inexpensive and easy and so much fun. So I hope that you guys give this a try. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a great night and rest of your week. And I'll be back soon. See ya. Bye.